Hello everyone, this is Octavius with North American Archery. Thank you so much for tuning into our channel. Today I want to talk to you about shooting lane practice. So stay tuned and watch the video. Okay guys, we're going to talk today about shooting lane practice. My name is Octavius with North American Archery, and I appreciate you coming to the channel. So this is something that I overlooked for so many years as I was a hunter or hunting situations. If I was doing 3D shooting, whatever it might be, it's been something that I've overlooked time and time again because I was just practicing in the backyard against some type of backstop, shooting a bag target or maybe a deer or whatever it is, and I was used to the same distance, 20 yards and in, or 25 yards or 30 yards and in, and just shot at the same thing over and over again. But probably the last 4 to 5 years, I've been really implementing shooting lane practice, and what I mean by that is making sure your target is set up behind obstructions. So you might have trees in the way, you might have bushes in the way, a thicket in the way. You shoot from elevated positions, kneeling down, standing up. Just making it difficult on yourself is so key when you're doing shooting lane practice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my top 5 reasons why you should do this. Number 1, and it's getting ready to rain here. Number 1, it helps you learn to focus on a spot. So it's easier to focus on a spot when it's just you and the target. But when you get other obstructions, other things in the way, what tends to happen is that it blurs your vision a little bit. If you put 2 fingers in front of your face and you look at the camera, even if I'm looking at this camera right now, and I put 2 fingers, I really got to focus so those fingers are not in front of what I'm trying to hit. Same thing comes down to anything else. So when you put the arrow on what you want to hit, usually your dominant eye, for me it's my right eye, takes over. Well, if my dominant eye is obstructed by all these different things in the way, I really got to focus on what I'm trying to hit to get it done. So focusing on your spot will definitely improve if you're focusing on things that you want to hit with an arrow and things are in the way. Okay, I promise you, there's been so many different situations where I've been up in a tree stand, a blind, or spot and stalking, and I was so nervous that if I shot the arrow, it wouldn't have been an ethical shot. When I'm looking back 5 years ago, I should have took a lot of those shots because all it was between 2 trees, and I got confused or I got worked up thinking that I was going to ricochet off a tree because I'm focusing more on the tree than I'm focusing on the vitals of that animal. Same thing comes down to 3D shooting. If you're a 3D shooter, like I am as well, they always set these targets up with things in the way. And so if you're focusing on your spot, none of that matters because there is a place where you want to hit, and that arrow will go through that opening and it will hit where you're looking at if you learn how to shoot through a shooting lane. Number 2, it simulates hunting shooting lanes. It simulates it, like I said before, so you're practicing what you might encounter in the field while hunting. It's so essential to do that. I'm telling you right now, it will definitely simulate a hunting shooting lane. So I remember a time where I had this massive 8-point buck come to my left, and as it's coming in, I literally say, I got this one. But there were so many trees. But I had a couple of shooting lanes, but I was so nervous. He's about 20, 25 yards. But this is one of those times where I'm going to take the shot because he is a nice buck. But I didn't because I was so worried about hitting a tree instead of being concerned about putting the arrow through the shooting lane and hitting the vitals of that deer. And so if I would have practiced 5 years ago on actually shooting through openings, I would have been able to just focus on what I was doing, and it would have been in my psyche, in my muscle memory, and I wouldn't even thought about it. But because I didn't, I wasn't prepared for that pressure situation. Number 3, it builds confidence in your shooting. If you know that you can put an arrow through small openings and tight windows, you will be much more confident as a hunter, as an archer, as well as a 3D shooter. So if you practice it throughout the year, throughout the month, and throughout the week, it'll get you in a situation where you're not just comfortable of seeing something broadside or seeing a target 20 to 30 yards downrange or 15 yards or whatever. You can do it when the shot gets a lot more difficult. Number 4 is it helps you learn your limitations. How you know that it's not an ethical shot when you're hunting is you know it's beyond what you're capable of. A lot of guys will say, hey, listen, let me tell you something right now. I don't shoot anything out after 20, 25 yards. Got you, because that's their limitation. But I know other archers that can shoot out to 40 yards with traditional equipment. Now, it's got to have the right setting. But I think that if you know what your limitations are, if it's 40 yards, 30 yards, 25, 15, 10, 5, whatever it is, you're much likely to have more success and set up properly in hunting situations so that you can get it done when it matters the most. But a lot of people never put themselves in a situation to be successful because they don't explore what limitations they have by putting pressure situations throughout the year, like shooting through shooting lanes and seeing what they can get done and do it ethically, hitting that target. They don't know where they're at. Okay, so that's number 4. Also, number 5 is keeps you motivated to shoot more. When you spice it up a little bit and you put shooting lanes as one of the things that you do, part of your practice regimen, you will now have something to grow into. You will have something to motivate you instead of going out in the backyard, hitting the same groups or shooting the same foam targets or the same this, the same that. You're now saying, okay, now I'm going to set that deer target or that 3D target in downrange at 20 yards, and I'm going to shoot between these 2 trees, and I have a little itty bitty opening. That's what's so essential about this, is that you're making it to where it's fun now. And I got burned out of shooting years back because I wasn't spicing it up a little bit. If you don't shoot at moving targets, if you don't shoot at aerial targets, you don't shoot at through openings, you don't shoot at a swinging target and all these different things, it's hard to go just in the backyard, hit a foam target or a block target, and you're like, whoop-de-doo, you know, I can shoot a group at 20 yards. Some people can do it, but very rarely do I see somebody able to do it for 40, 50 years every single day, just shooting at one little target. This is not going to happen. As you grow in traditional archery, you're going to spice it up a little bit because you know that you have graduated to a higher level, and now it's time to explore different practice options. Now, there's some guys out there that I know that actually do just shoot in the backyard because that's all they want to do. I got it. But for the vast majority of us, you're going to have to spice it up a little bit to keep yourself motivated by shooting different angles, different distances, different elevations, uphill, downhill, swinging targets, aerial targets, through openings. All these different things you want to implement in your shooting. Guys, I really appreciate you coming to the channel and listening to me talk about so many different things I've experienced over the years. And I know that shooting lane practice is going to help you in your shooting. You just have to implement it, and I promise you it'll help you when it matters the most. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions. Continue to turn on your post notifications, and remember this: you don't have to get ready when you stay ready. All right, I'm gonna have to get in because it's fixing to take loose and start raining pretty big here. Take care.